and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the TCS panel discussion on manufacturing transformation, the new beginning. I am Kritika. I am your host for the session. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, global CPG industry, especially the food and beverage segment, is witnessing a huge surge in demand, which requires manufacturing to continue operations at full scale. At the same time, there are constraints to operations arising due to lockdown restrictions, disruptions to material supplies, and shutdowns. How can we tackle this situation? And that brings me to the theme of today's discussion. Let's hear it from our wonderful panel on how the manufacturing within CPG industry is poised to address these challenges. I have with me Mr. Chandrasekar Natarajan, Global Head, Retail, CPG and Distribution Vertical within the TCS Engineering and Industrial Service Unit, Mr. Harish Mehra, Global Business and Solution Head, Industry 4.0 Practices within the TCS Internet of Things Unit, Mr. Vishesh Shete, Global Head Plant Solutions within the TCS EIS Unit. Last but not the least, Mr. Arunkumar Nadar, Head of Center of Excellence of TCS Plant Solutions. Without further ado, let's start the discussion. Chandru, the first question is for you. It is a two-part question. The first question, how has the COVID-19 pandemic impacted the CPG industry and perhaps more to the food and beverage segment? What are your customers asking for to sail through this new normal?
Good morning. Thanks, Kritika. 2020 obviously has been an unprecedented year by all counts, one which the world has never seen before. And CPG industry is no stranger. It was one of the most impacted, both from the demand as well as the supply sides of the equation. We could see constant shift in consumer behaviors over the last 6 to 9 months, and that has led to growing demand as well as changing brand preferences across many food, beverages, and home product categories, what we would typically call as the essential goods segment. Companies in literally real-time basis had to assess how to best address the supply chain disruptions and also their production capacity limitations, and in a way how they could make the most out of the uptick that they saw in many product categories. According to a research, it is estimated that more than 40% of the companies across the globe had to ramp up their production levels to keep up and meet this demand spike. Another big impact that we saw was the accelerated migration to the e-commerce channel of buying essentials. And industry analysts estimate that by 2022, the share of e-commerce is expected to be as much as 3 times higher than the pre-COVID levels. Technology was a huge enabler as the industry fought through this crisis. As an example, companies took to more personalized services and they started augmenting their data analytics, intelligent decision making capabilities. And this is going to continue evolving long after the current issues stabilize and as the society emerges from this phase slowly but steadily. But I think as the industry is calling it, the new normal will just become the real normal indeed. And as an industry, perhaps those of us work in CPG may not be able to solve the larger problems facing the health frontline medical workers. The underlying issues extend beyond this particular health crisis or even this particular economic moment. But we can at least adapt our operations so that the empty store shelves don't contribute to the consumers' already sizable anxieties.
Thanks, Chandru. Now let's move on to the second part of the question. Manufacturing being heart of the supply chain, what are the specific impacts and trends being witnessed due to this pandemic?
I think it will be an understatement to say that this has been a wake up call for most of the CPG companies. And they had to pretty much what I would call deconstruct and reconstruct their supply chains and establish new supply chains that will help them augment their capacities and meet the market demands. The CPG companies need to obviously repurpose their factories and hence the product lines to address shortages in certain categories that they saw from the market. We were able to help a large global consumer major in terms of identifying the right supplier base, which could help them turn around their manufacturing capacity. Now, when companies try to adhere to the social distancing norms within their factories, it is going to pose a huge challenge to the companies at large. And this is where I think a lot of companies are bringing in more automation to the manufacturing lines and also to the warehouse operations in the larger supply chain context. Demand for robotics and automation has increased exponentially. And if I look at a survey from the industry analysts, 44% of the manufacturers say that pandemic caused their companies to increase the use of digital enablers and also the plant productivity tools. So initiatives like control towers, initiatives like predictive maintenance, bringing in more analytics and real-time visibility to establish governance for fast response and also to build closed loop autonomous manufacturing is being adopted consciously by all the customers at large. And this would help in increasing the plant efficiency and the throughput and also provide them the end-to-end visibility. So net, there is a huge proliferation of technology, which my colleagues are going to talk through during their sessions, which is really helping the F&B customers tide over this crisis, especially in their plant, the manufacturing operations per se. Thank you.
Thanks, Chandru, for shedding light on new trends like accelerated e-commerce adoption, technology adoption due to this high demand. It was interesting to know that the customers needs to deconstruct and reconstruct the supply chain using robotics or predictive monitoring solutions. At the same time, taking care of the sustainability part. Vishwesh, next question is to you. COVID-19 crisis has accelerated the digital adoption. What is the concept of TCS neural manufacturing and how it would help companies tide over the current crisis and help achieve exponential benefits?
A neural manufacturing concept is actually inspired from the biological neural systems. Basically, neural manufacturing brings in six characteristics. First is it has to be automated so that the decisions can be made automatically, uh, so that the organizations become lean, and it uses basically the principle of machines first delivery model. Organizations have to show adaptive characteristics, allow them to manage impact of disturbances from environment. This could be internal or external. For example, if there's a machine downtime, the system has to automatically adapt to this particular machine being down, or it could be a disruption in the supply chain, which allows still smoother operations by sourcing through alternative sources or finding out alternative supply chain logistics mechanisms. In other words, it would also, it ensures smoother operations. On the other side, when we say adaptive in today's context, uh, there has to be need for faster introduction of products, which means you will have to have very agile systems, right, from product engineering to ensuring manufacturing and supply chain adapt to the new changes which would come from engineering. Third point is organizations will have to address the personalized needs of consumers, which means mass customization as and when required. Organizations also have to exhibit resilient behavior, which means they will have to have robust systems to handle the environmental and ecosystem changes, what we discussed earlier. And last, most important is organizations have to have intelligent and cognitive capabilities, which provides actionable intelligence and decisions are made based on actual data. And where possible, it should, give prescription to solve the problems and hence automate the decision making.
Thanks, Vishwesh. Neural manufacturing will indeed ensure smoother operations, like you mentioned. Biggest benefit of implementing this will be automating the decision making process. Also, the mass customizations help customer experience in a higher level. Harish, next question is for you. The pandemic has drastically altered the world, and manufacturing is struggling to realign and adjust to the dynamic and ad hoc requirements. How are technologies like Industry 4.0 addressing these needs? Please share TCS experience in working with customers in this space.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Karthika. See, Chandru and Vishwesh has already covered the aspects of the impact on of the pandemic on manufacturing, and we are also seeing those trends getting adopted by our customers. Pandemic has put a lot of acceptance to being connected, and Industry 4.0 is all about being connected from the OT systems layer, the plant information layer, the moving assets layer like your fleets and others, as well as to systems, which can be engineering systems or your shop floor operational systems or quality management systems. So we are seeing a very good trend in terms of the adaptation with our customers post-pandemic situation, where the foremost importance is given to people's safety now. TCS itself has own solutions around COVID-19 from social distancing viewpoint. They are getting repurposed from the larger safety solutions from our side, which customers are adopting both as a solution as a software as a service kind of options, where we can have managed services portfolio into this. The other trend which we are seeing, as there is a lot of adaptation and data from the plants can be shared externally. Lot of remote monitoring and assistance based solutioning is also, we are seeing that trend from our customers growing in, where data can be accessed remotely, whether it is a operational data or it is a asset related information or your utility related information. This data can be analyzed and decisions can be made remotely, which can be communicated back to this to the plant resources. Most of them are also in the direction of providing remote assistance, through visual, through virtual reality or augmented reality based solutioning also. In neural manufacturing, as well as in Chandru's discussion, we talked about supply chain resilience. We also touched upon that how plants are so critical, to the larger supply chain, because they are the, on a critical junction for the fulfillment processes. And plant performance is directly related to your how your supply chain decisions and philosophies are going to be adopted. So a lot of resilience in supply chain is in demand. So where the demands can fluctuate very fast, and we need to be adaptive. We need to be flexible, and we should be able to scale these. We're a connected enterprise based solutioning where new product introduction can be shrinked through Industry 4.0 solutions, where I can produce any product anywhere across the globe where I have capacity, or also growing warehouse automation, adaptation of robotics, especially the cognitive robotics to do these functions. So these are some of the high-end trends which we are seeing, which is getting adopted because of the pandemic, reducing the workforce at the plant floor. One aspect which was there, which was not adopted with that aggression earlier, but now it is very much evident with our customers in the operational excellence side of it, where they are trying to use the same capacity and trying to reduce the manufacturing cost or cost of goods sold by certain basis points so that they can impact the profitability of the organization. And lot of solutions which are in the area of asset performance, quality assurance, the workforce optimization, the resource optimizations are going in that direction of how operational excellence and cost of manufacturing can be brought down. So these are some of the 4 or 5 trends which we are seeing with our customers. Thank you.
Thanks, Harish, for sharing on how these Industry 4.0 solutions are leading digital transformation initiatives. So now, since we spoke about this digital transformation, let's come back to Vishesh. While digital transformation is the key, many organizations have large legacy landscape and operations of existing IT landscape is more important than ever. What is TCS's outlook to modernize operations and make them smarter to derive maximum value? Can you elaborate on this?
Thanks, Kritika. Uh, you're right. I think with the current situation which we are into, the operation management has become very, very critical. Most important feature of the way we do operations management is to keep business at the center. So right from the go, our emphasis is to understand the business processes, how business uses the IT solutions, how the systems are deployed and used by business. And this helps us to bring in resilience, adaptability, intelligence, which we talked of earlier. When we take over the operations, since our approach is business centric, it is easier for us to automate the repetitive task. We enable resilience through 360 degrees monitoring of key applications to enable shift left, where we capture the issues even before they impact the system and business. Our solution accelerators like TPulse enables not just infrastructure monitoring, but application health monitoring in a single window. We are able to, through a control tower, look at the health of printers, scanner devices, HMIs on the shop floor, and understand if there are issues even before operators come and report them, and take necessary action so that the downtime or the impact to the operations are minimum. Hence, we are extremely agile and sharp. So for one of our auto customers, we actually reduced the major incidents which we are getting into to nil from 1 or 2 per month. We also monitor the interfaces, and these interfaces are monitored for having an empty file, for example, or incomplete data being transmitted through the middlewares. And before these issues actually hit production, we are able to isolate them, take corrective actions, many times auto heal these issues. What we also have seen is many of the large customers have very high legacy landscape, as you talked of. And this is primarily because of mergers and acquisitions they would have gone through. Also, by nature, plant IT is very federal and plants are given autonomy to do what they want. Plus, obviously, they have funds. So usually what we have seen is many times the solutions which are used are not standardized across plants. Many times the people who develop these applications are not available. There is no documentation available. And hence, usually there is a good opportunity to standardize, to commonize things and derive rationalization. Uh, with that, I would be proud to say that we have overall given benefits to our customers to the extent of 500 million as an annuity. And it goes on and grows on every year, the kind of initiatives we have taken. For another customer, he was using very legacy landscape, and they were really struggling to go through upgrade of the systems, which was working on Windows 2000, .NET 2.0 framework. And the issue was they've been trying for almost 2, 3 years, and they were not successful, and the security threats were increasing. So we helped them to migrate this quicker to Windows 2012 and .NET 4.5. Now, this was not an easy journey because the documentation was not available. Uh, the application, it had many DLLs which we could not even read and decipher. So we had to actually go to the business, understand business process, get to the plant floor, understand how the systems are being used, how the functionalities work, what are exceptions for it, and then we had to revamp this whole application, which ultimately led to 700K USD per year savings because customer was paying premium charges to maintain these systems. So not only that, the security posture of the customer improved significantly. So there are advantages of this type of upgrades. We help our customers to increase this adaptability of the system. And for one of the major food and beverage customer, we help them to adopt their systems significantly. And that led to increase of OEE to almost 10%. And we could reduce the wastage almost by 1%. And imagine on day-to-day basis, you're reducing your wastage by 1%, which is a huge saving, one on the top line, because you produce more, and second on the bottom line, because you're reducing the wastages and hence the cost associated with it. So what I would say to conclude, I think we have a very different way of looking at operations. It's extremely, technology centric as well, which we take, which allows our customers to be thanks.
Thanks, Vishwesh, for sharing the importance of digital transformation when it comes to generating exponential value. Now, coming back to Harish, TCS, as a global technology leader, works with various business across the world by putting data to work and drive transformation. Could you share some use cases and strategies that your customers are adopting?
Yeah, thanks, Kartika. In the previous point, also, we have raised the importance of being connected. And I think the data is the core to bring this change. I want to, before answer your question and share some of those case studies, I would like to highlight the kind of solutions which is today driven through this data. So, of course, data today, what we are getting from the censored systems or IoT enabled shop floor systems, or with the deployment of quality management systems or asset management systems, as an information which is reasonably structured. And this structured information may or may not be sufficient for building the solutions. So the other aspect of the data is around the unstructured data, where we have image related solution constructs, which helps in feeding into building the industrial analytics to the next level. These can be inspection systems, or they can be for the cognitive robotic solution constructs, and the manual interventions which are required. They can be further automated through image related solutions. There is also a very critical aspects of the knowledge being residing with the operators who are working for more than 15, 20 plus years, and they have that tribal knowledge. So how you can build those knowledge into something actionable, which can help you in improving these industrial solution constructs, is also critical. So both aspects are required, in order to build the solution, whether with structured, semi-structured, and unstructured information around this. Now, these solutions are primarily today focused from an asset viewpoint. So we are talking about how asset performance can improve, and these behaviors can be built through asset twins kind of solutions. We can look into simulating the whole manufacturing operations, its associated processes, the events, and can do a lot of what-if analysis to see how resources can be effectively optimized, how we can predict things much ahead of time, and can take corrective measures, prescriptive measures to improve some of these KPIs. They can be improving the productivity of people by providing them more assistance through either by providing information from those other data sources which is required to perform a task, or they can be through visual aids through AR/VR based solution constructs. We can also look data which is coming from supply chain and look for operational excellence within supply chain, whether it is optimization of fleet or last mile visibility, which we can be brought in, or it can be used in cold chain kind of scenarios where monitoring of within the transit is equally important for planning your operations. For these solutions beyond the traditional solutions what they have, where not only the optimization algorithm but the AI ML techniques are used to build solutions which helps in reducing this cost of logistics drastically. We are also seeing trends where a lot of tribal knowledge is also getting captured. So they are at different level of maturity and adaptation with our clients. Many of them starts with their visibility, of operations and gradually grow to these solutions. And many matured customers which are already have very matured foundational layer for plant floor, they are looking for building new capabilities to meet new industrial challenges as part of this. Solution construct also plays a very important role, how you will construct and roll out these solutions to their customers. Because what we have seen with our customers, and I think somewhere Vishwesh has also shared that viewpoint in terms of that these solutions are not, they are designed, developed, but they are not taking the full impact to the organization. And one of the biggest reason for those are the scale aspect of it, where we are helping customers to build these solutions by using cloud infrastructure platforms, so that when the solution has to be scaled, we can use the underneath scalability of the cloud infrastructure. Lot of data processing needs to be done to build this, so cost of the solution constructs can help in reducing when we are adopting digital technologies around those. Another important aspect is how this, as we know, all plants are very different. They produce different products. They have different level of maturities when it comes to automation processes. Region wise, there are many variations. So how within technology usage, by building model based constructs, which are very high level, abstracted level, we can build these solutions so that when we are going to take this at scale, all these digital technologies come together to solve those issues. As so we can do a lot of pilots here, but it's important that how you scale these pilots to a reasonable number of sites, reasonable number of lines, make that impactful change management within the organizations to bring those acceptance to these changes, as well as very quickly help this adaptation across lines, across facilities. Because unless until this happens, we don't see a meaningful change on your balance sheets. So we are helping customers not only designing these solutions using data as their core, but also helping them constructing a solution that it not become a specific solution for a site or a line by taking a very different approach, and helping them in rolling out these solutions where we have many CPG and non-CPG majors where we are deploying these solutions, and there are meaningful impacts of the tune of multi-million per plant, per line kind of savings, which we have delivered in past. And we are seeing this trend growing within CPG and in other domains also.
Thanks, Harish, for explaining how to achieve operational excellence using semi-structured and unstructured data, and also different type of predictive and prescriptive solution which can help CPG and retail companies. Now back to Vishwesh. Talking about digital transformation, can you share insights on how systems like MES are the backbone of Industry 4.0 initiative?
I think MES enables processes on shop floors which needs real-time responses, very fast responses. The way I see where MES still makes relevance is about order sequencing for optimal utilization of resources, order management so that you can take on-the-fly decisions based on issues and compulsions at the plant floor. MES also enables highest quality of goods by highlighting issues in production, by ensuring the compliance specification. If those are violated, alerts immediately. It also makes production changeovers faster and structured through the CLP checks, through recipe downloads, for instance. And when integrated with laboratory management systems, it provides significant insights to the problems and issues. As I also described earlier, I think manufacturing analytics on MES data provides vital insights. We talked about line balancing, for instance, defect analysis, analyzing operator efficiencies, their training needs. But not just that, This data can also be used to build simulation models, which allows you to predict next day's production, next day's requirements. It allows you to give more qualified information to your suppliers. Suppliers can be given visibility of what's really happening on the shop floor at a particular point of time, and hence adopt to the changes which are happening on the production layer. These models also can be used to optimize your inventory levels based on your past trends and the level of inventory buffers you are maintaining, and comparing with your actual consumptions and making appropriate decisions. So overall, I think MES is one of the foundation elements of Industry 4.0 initiatives, and it enables efficient lean manufacturing operations. Apart from that, when we combine MES with machine data collection, and it's an art in my view, because not everybody is able to do it right. This data can be significantly used for developing Industry 4.0 capabilities, what Harish talked of, to build predictive and prescriptive models for deriving exceptional benefits, exponential benefits as well. Apart from that, what I have seen is the MES products also are innovating themselves. We do see trends of MES getting on cloud. We see MES getting developed using microservices architecture, which is more agile, which can be deployed for the, from the functional scope perspective, and brings in resilience. So these are some of the perspectives as to how MES fits and aligns to the Industry 4.0 initiative. I just want to give some examples. One example is how manufacturing analytics has helped one of our customers. This is a chemical manufacturing customer. They manufacture nylon variant. And the issue was when you have the ingredients put in an autoclave, and you produce the product intermediate, and that intermediate at certain viscosity, which gives you a guarantee that your final end product would be of good quality. Uh, it takes time for the lab to complete the testing. By then, probably you would have produced another 2 to 3 batches. So in case something has gone wrong, either you would produce product of inferior quality, or you would end up rejecting the 2, 3 lots. So we help them to model this, and to help them to predict what would be the product quality coming out of this, and flag any issues. Not only flag, but also give prescription of what machine parameters they should be changing, so that the product quality can again come back within the specifications. So there is good amount of data which is available, and this data can be used intelligently, which can give a lot of benefits. So this is how I think MES and Industry 4.0 initiatives align to each other. Thanks.
Thanks, Vishwesh, for sharing the various benefits and examples of MES based solutions. Now back to Harish. It's a two-part question again. Harish, the first question is: today, enterprises are heavily relying on technologies like IoT, AI, and analytics. Could you please share your thoughts on analytics specifically in the manufacturing and how it is helping various organizations to take advantage of intelligent insight?
It's an important question in terms of how analytics is going to play a role. And we believe at TCS that this analytics is also like a journey where you start with collecting the data and trying to analyze the data more from getting some untapped value from that information, or trying to contextualize that information with respect to other data sets, which is and some of the KPI monitorings which can be digitalized instead of generating this information through capturing data manually. Now, when we have collected the data over a period of time, say of the tune of 6 to 8 months, we look into these data sets more from looking into certain set of patterns or certain sets of a certain set of commonality among product families or among certain specific lines or specific regions or plants, where we try to do some of the predictions based on the real-time information which has been collected, and where the solution matures into building the models, and it also leads into constructing a lot of what if scenarios and trying to do prediction. And then comes the maturity, which is more prescriptive in nature, where you not only are able to identify in prediction that these potential things may happen, but also look into how those parameters can be further tweaked into improving the performance of that particular asset. A very good example, which has got a lot of accolades, is from Japan, which is for a utility company, where we have built the digital twin of the boiler and able to tune the boiler in a very prescriptive manner because of the changes in the source of coal material which we take, which has a different moisture and a ash content. So how AI ML can be used in building these solutions constructs, in building these models and automatically doing. Apart from that, some of the stuff which Vishwesh has mentioned about yield improvements by getting into some of the variables which senses that quality is degrading or can sense the anomaly in the process, and then you have some control variables through which you can control it through other means based on the process, that how we can be doing. And the highest level of maturity is what we are calling is that SOPs, the self-optimization production system, or an autonomous construct, where a lot of machines will be smarter. That is a futuristic view which we carry, where a lot of machines are going to be smarter, automated. You have a lot of digitalized processes, and all the data can be processed. So you have distributed control, where every individual unit, in that model can be self-sufficient and can communicate with the other model, which is our machine-to-machine communication concept. And then the whole concept can be taken to a master control, where you can build an autonomous decision-making system, which is running on some business objectives like your cost optimizations or full schedule adherences kind of objectives, and decisions will be primarily taken by the through the systems. Another aspects in which we are seeing, the analytics playing a critical role is on the NPI cycle. So we touched upon some of the elements where engineering and manufacturing information has to connect, has to integrate. But lot of in order to build lot of recipes within the plants, you take lot of dry runs, you do lot of piloting of your products, and trying to look into how central lining parameters can be derived for that specific site. And when you take this product to another site, again you have to repeat these processes in those situations. So what we are seeing is how simulations of this NPI, how I can derive from my R&D data, from my engineering data, machine equipment, my plant layout information models can be constructed, and all this can be used in doing these simulations and driving the central lining attributes in a digital context, and take less physical exercise to do those, which shrinks these cycles drastically to introduce these products much faster to the marketplace. So these are critical, some of those dimensions where we see analytics is playing a role, and some of the examples which we have stated where we are working. So it's to summarize, it is primarily on the asset performance side, on the operations, energy optimization side of it, supply chain, associated logistics, on the NPI reductions.
Now, moving on to the second part of the question, is TCS working on an innovative solution and implemented at scale?
Yeah, we are as TCS, not only for this domain, but in all domains, are very working very closely with our customers. Also looking into how the technology trends are emerging, working with our partners like Microsoft, AWS, PTC, Siemens, etc., on building the solutions which helps our customers to adopt these solutions and realize those benefits which these solutions are going to bring in. These are integral part of our offerings which we are giving, and many of them has got a lot of maturity that they can be readily deployed. We are so one of the critical solution here is on the industrial analytics platform solution, which helps in building the models, uh, validate these models, do the lot of data processing. And the name of that particular solution is Peacock, which is a framework which is able to connect to your data sources in an industrial analytic solution construct viewpoint. It has lot of inbuilt algorithms to do a lot of data processing and pre-data processing as well as the data processing part of it, ability to help you build the models which are industrial in nature, validate these models, and then subsequently help in reducing. By deployment of this tool, you can easily reduce 30 to 50% of the time in building the model construct itself. And then you have rollouts, associated with those. Another maturity of some of the solutions we have are mature to an extent that they can be offered as a managed services portfolio solutions or software as a service. These solutions are in the area of logistics. So we have a solution DigiFleet, which helps in connecting and bringing visibility when you are in transit from A to B point. And this solution is integrated with our larger planning optimization solutions. So give you a completely integrated digital supply chain constructs for both inbound and outbound logistics viewpoint. We have energy management solution, again, a very critical solution and a very different approach to take operational excellence via energy as a route, because energy is a very good system, very good, I will say, a parameter to measure to look into inefficiencies within manufacturing. So we have our own hosted solution as software as a service solution, which helps you building and optimizing your energy and utilities. And one of the critical elements which we touched upon earlier, I would like to bring that into this where we are making an attempt to build a digital manufacturing platform for our manufacturers, which can bring asset, operation, supply chain, and workforce together. And this is built on a very unique concept of an common framework, industrial common framework, which we are naming it as ICF, where we are trying to model these things through graph DB. This also helps in getting into knowledge base of the tribal information being available with operators, also help in collecting this information through multiple events which are responsible for the root cause analysis, and try to construct solutions using this platform and other components which I have stated earlier for larger industrial issues and autonomous constructs of the uh, smart manufacturing or factory of the future. Another aspects which I want to highlight from Industry 4.0 viewpoint is on the automation side of it, where a lot of cognitive robotics solution constructs are also part of our offerings. We also, when we are talking about being connected, security becomes a big concern. So IT, OT security aspects of these solutions also becomes critical, and we have solutions in those areas also, where we can easily deploy, very advanced robotic solutions for material handling, can design and work with our partners to provide an AGV solution for effective material usage. We can have tool sets around ensuring that whatever is getting connected is also secure from an IT/OT security viewpoint also.
Thanks, Harish, for sharing TCS capabilities and solutions. Digital twin in combination with manufacturing analytics will definitely generate intelligent insights for the organization. Now, coming to Arun, the question is to you. In your opinion, what are different solutions and accelerators with which TCS is helping its customers?
We as TCS are in this space for more than 20 years. We have been working as TCS, we have been working with different customers, different verticals. Especially for food and beverage, the key trends which we are seeing today is digitization. Most of the customers who have their manufacturing plants still working on legacy applications, legacy systems, and which Vishesh talked about. And it needs to be uplifted, it needs to be modernized. So as part of that, we have a solution named as Transform Plus, wherein we do a consulting assignment with the customer, understanding their entire landscape, trying to see what type of legacy applications they have, how it can be modernized, which applications can still remain in the system or are still value adding, and which needs to be modernized so that they can be going towards the next level of manufacturing maturity. So we have a consulting offering called Manufacturing Maturity Assessment. Basically, it's a framework where we ask questions right from CX organization to your operator, them improve their own business processes. Part of that, we understand where they are today in the manufacturing world. What is the maturity of the plant in today's world with respect to the standard or standard guidelines which MESA provides, or how the peers are there in the same business. The outshoot of this offering is categorizing what the customer has to do in the near time, like 0 to 3 months, what needs to be done, from 3 to 6 months, what needs to be done, so that they can start the transformation journey for modernization of the legacy landscape. Apart from this, as Vishesh talked about, MES being the backbone of Industry 4.0, our group specializes in right selection of the MES products. So we see the customer's landscape, which is the best MES suit. Especially for CPG, we are seeing a trend that MES is more being hosted on cloud application nowadays. Apart from this, once the MES tool is planned to be deployed, there is a global template which is created, and what to get the maximum benefit out of the MES implementation, you need to really accelerate your projects. So one of the examples which we quote is for a major CPG major, the customer had two solutions. One was for seeing the plant floor visibility, the OEE of his plant, his line, and also comparing two different plants who are making the same type of products, so that they can have a they can make analysis on how can the other plant be better or made more smarter going forward. So for doing so, they need to adopt MES and the functionalities of MES faster. So we have a framework named Rapid Deployment Framework. Just to quote on the Rapid Deployment Framework, for one of the CPG customers, we had deployed around 136 lines with MES solution in one particular year. The ask was around 120 lines, but we overachieved by around 16 lines. So that is one other offering which we are into. The third offering which I would like to talk about is making the shop floors entirely paperless. So with more and more digitization being pushed in, and the significance of data being known to everyone, so there is an offering called lean management, which we call as digital policy deployment. It helps customer to move away from entire paper-based operations. The basic SPQVC type of a framework, where everything, the day in the life of an operator, where he would like to see his own line, how it is performing with the help of digital dashboards. We do have solutions across visibility. So in a plant floor, if you take various personas, right from the operator, your line leader, your shift leader, and then your plant manager. Every person has his own KPIs, and he needs to understand how he is performing against those KPIs in day-to-day life, right? So we have a solution called Performance Plus, which helps all these personas to look into the day-to-day KPIs which they are tasked with and how they can improve upon these KPIs so that the production is much smoother, much faster, and much efficient. So these are some of the solutions which we have, Kritika, and which we enable the customers with, so that the manufacturing plants are much smarter today, much efficient, and they are ready for the digitization world.
Thanks, Arun. These solutions are indeed paving new ways to run manufacturing plants, helping them move away from legacy systems to innovative digital systems. Now, coming back to Harish, this is the last question for the panel. I would love to hear from you on TCS Industry 4.0 offerings. Over to you, Harish.
Yeah, thanks, Kartika. I think so far it's a very good interactive discussion which we had. A lot of inputs are coming from different leaders. From an Industry 4.0 offerings viewpoint, our offerings are primarily designed on value. So the very first offering what we have from Industry 4.0 is on the value discovery, where we look into different objectives laid down by the organizations in terms of meeting some of their business drivers, like how much EBITDA improvement they can target, how much revenue improvement they can target. And we had a comprehensive framework, which is Industry 4.0 transformational framework, and we have named as I4T, where we study these business objectives, translate them into some of the digital transformational capabilities which can be constructed, identify what kind of roadmap can be created by studying their as systems to build these capabilities, and eventually also doing a lot of cost benefit analysis, handhold them from a change management viewpoint for this phase of the program. The second, if customers have already identified or we have helped them in identifying those, we the second phase of this is to do the discovery, uh, the initiation of this discovery by doing some of the POCs or some of the pilot constructs of the solution. Where in the previous discussion we talked about a lot of importance around how these constructs keeps in mind that these solutions will only have a meaningful impact on the business drivers if they are supposed to be rolled out to different sites, which has different process definitions, which has different maturity level of automations, and they have taken different supply chain philosophy based on the regions, etc. Where the construct of these solutions using some of the TCS offered solutions plays a critical role, which we are naming it as industrialization of the solution beyond pilot. So pilot is where you actually build an MVP. You try to look into whatever you are trying to do, whether it is asset reliability or quality or yield improvement, whether you have sufficient data and these models can be built to an accuracy level where operational people can adopt them in their day-to-day decision-making systems. And once that is established, you take them into the industrialization phase where you construct the whole solution with business logics, with its interfaces, data models, UI, development activities, etc., so that it can be very quickly rolled out. And then we leverage TCS framework of rapid deployment. Some of the solution constructs, the kind of innovative solutions which we have talked, I have mentioned earlier in this discussion, but and just to specify them very categorically, we have the industrial analytics platform, which is Peacock. We have image analytics related solutions, which has our own patented algorithms, which helps in constructing these solutions very fast. And we have done it for industrial segments like turbine manufacturers, for plant safety, for steel manufacturing companies. We are doing it for inspection for high-tech environment, and some of the examples in CPG also we mentioned about, where we can build the residual useful life, the different operational visualization, inspections which are done manually, all that can be automated using these nature of solution. The other aspects which we are talking is on the DMP side of it, where we have connected asset solutions. These solutions are built on asset performance. So they start with a lot of visibility centric solutions like SPC analysis, like the OE measurements of these assets using digital constructs, the digital value chain, like industrial IoT as the base of these constructs. And gradually you can look into building a digital twin for assets, where a lot of simulations can happen and you can do a lot of predictive as well as prescriptive things for the asset performance. The second one aspect is on the operation sides of it, which includes the quality aspects, the material aspects of and the utilities used, wages which are used in producing these products. Primarily here the focus is on manufacturing cost, and we are using DMP connected operation solutions in combination with our Peacock solutions, to build these predictive and prescriptive constructs, which helps you in yield improvement, throughput improvements, optimizing your material wastages, energy management solutions. We talked, in terms of reducing and optimizing your energy levels. The other one is on the workforce side of it, where productivity of people, where we talked about our AR/VR based solutioning, guided operations as one of the solutions, as well as on the safety side of it, where we talked about connected workforce safety solutions, which is available as a software as a service solution, is part of this. And the last element is around the supply chain, from inbound and outbound logistics optimizations. We also know that one of the critical elements of Industry 4.0 is automation of the shop floor beyond the traditional automation, which is through automation vendors. So we actually deal with a lot of material handling, last mile packaging, making a very customized delivery by using cognitive robotics as part of the automation element. Beyond that, we also provide advanced sensorization, soft sensing, OT security as other elements of the construct. We are working in ensuring that how the operations can be operation excellence can be brought in both throughout the value chain, both for the make process and their extended supply chain processes as part of this. And once you have the core foundation of these, the base solutions, which is shop floor solutions, the topmost solution, which is this layer. Then we have these DMP constructs, digital twin constructs, digital threads, and self-optimization production system as the most advanced solutions what we offer in this.
Thanks, Harish. Like you mentioned, TCS Industry 4.0 solutions are helping companies digitally transform. To summarize this discussion, we believe the enterprises need to reimagine themselves with connected systems for remote and eventually autonomous manufacturing operations. To achieve that, it is essential to have a clear roadmap created with the right partner using the right technology. We wish to hear more from you and we'll be happy to discuss the solutions to your business problems using TCS solutions and capabilities. With this note, I would like to thank our panelists and our esteemed viewers for their time. Have a pleasant day.